Welcome back to Us Against Everything, where it's us versus the stories we've been told. In case you are new here, I am Liz, a psychic medium. I have been doing readings for over 20 years, and things have escalated from there. Landon and I used to have a podcast called Freaked Out, and now we're back and we are ready for a new chapter. Now, Landon, my co host, is a jack of all trades, but at the moment in his life, he actually works and has been working with disabled adults for so many years and has done this his whole life. And it even started before this career by taking care of his younger brother, Josh, one of our favorite humans on earth.
What's up, everybody?
It's good to have you back, honestly. It feels like I have been missing something recording life, and I just feel naked. Now I don't feel naked anymore. So thanks for putting a sweater on for me.
Although you hate wearing clothes.
Okay, except when it's cold, and I like wearing sweaters.
That's very true. When you're cold, you definitely like wearing hoodies.
I do not like sleeping with clothes on.
That's very true.
Today, we are covering the moon landing. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it half fake? We are going to be asking many questions connected to this. So, let's go over some facts. And by the way, highly recommend to watch the Netflix documentary called Apollo 11, which came out in 2019. That is where I spent a significant amount of time doing my research on it.
Well, I definitely know a lot about space. I've always have been interested in aliens, UFO, spaceships, spacecrafts, going to the moon, and even interested in when NASA was, the ocean exploratory program before it was even the space exploratory program. I definitely love that stuff. I wanted to be an astronaut at one point in my life, but that never worked out for me.
Landon, his two favorite passions are dinosaurs and space. And our wedding rings, well, not mine, but mine was Disney because I'm obsessed with Disney. Princess Jasmine, in case you're interested. But anyway, Landon, I recently did an upgrade on our 5-year wedding anniversary and got him a new ring. And this ring has pieces of dinosaur bones in it and pieces of
a meteorite.
Right. So I'm obsessed with his ring and I love it. Anything that has any sort of like element like that is just you can read the energy from it.
Absolutely. In 1969, first moon landing was Apollo 11. NASA led the mission. Astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin were the two main astronauts going up there. The whole world was watching them. Cold War pressure. It was a huge moment for humanity.
Now, the launch on July 16th, 1969 was televised, and around 600 million people worldwide watched parts of the mission. Parts of the mission.
Right, parts. That's very important.
Thousands of spectators gathered in Florida just to watch the rocket take off in person, which Landon and I were like looking at the footage and we were like, that kind of seems a little dangerous.
Yeah, like they're just anticipating that it's not going to, like, debris. What if it exploded and
Right.
the debris hitting the people around? I know they were like a few, like a couple of miles away, but that doesn't mean they didn't get up there, like in a certain point of the sky and then all of a sudden exploding. And like, debris can fly a few miles depending on the impact.
Oh, I don't disagree with you at all. I felt that way as well. But then again, it was the 60s, so people weren't really thinking about that at that point.
Right, close to the 70s where they were doing a lot of those LSD drugs.
Absolutely. The other thing we thought was really kind of fucking weird was that they also bypassed a hydrogen leak, which is kind of scary.
Right. They said that it was holding, like they did fix it as good as they could fix it. They said that it was holding, but you don't want to take that chance. And the fact that they just decided for the first launch to the moon, we're going to just like bypass a hydrogen leak, like, meh, we've we've done enough. It'll hold. Like, you don't
Right.
know that.
Exactly. And the only thing that was streaming live back then was like radio and maybe the news, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Not really much. Not really much. There was a couple of radio shows and stuff like you said, like the news, weather, stuff like that, but nothing.
So, yeah, of course, everyone in the world is going to cling on to this. Why wouldn't you? Now, here is some reasons that people think it's actually fake. Let's go over the details. The flag looks like it's waving, but no wind. No stars are visible in photos. Shadow looks off, multiple light sources. Footprints look too perfect. Camera angles don't always make sense. Technology versus what we supposedly pulled off. And why haven't we gone back in the same way? I am somebody who is very connected to numerology, especially when something doesn't make sense to me. But taking the 1969 year specifically and putting 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 9 equals 25, which, if you add up 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 is the number for hidden truth, secrets, deeper knowledge. I never in my life thought it was fake, but I feel like there are certain elements that are. So let's get into the questions.
When I was younger, I for sure was like, no, that was real. But as I got older, I also questioned it a little bit. And not every part. I do feel like some parts are real and some parts are not real.
If it was real, why does some of it like look fake?
The flag looking like it's waving.
Right.
Something that I noticed watching the video, the thing that was sketchy to me is the fact that they just like jumped off. Like, you see them coming out of the spaceship once they actually get up there, and they're coming down. Their boots are like flowing in the wind. They're not really walking down the ladder. And then all of a sudden they just land on the ground and they're totally grounded.
Yeah.
Like, there's no gravity up there. How are you totally grounded?
It's true. And even the camera angles, like, you're telling me we're only going to take an angle from up above,
Right.
and not have one of the astronauts holding the camera.
Like, why isn't the camera detachable?
Right, exactly. Like,
if you got it on there, you should be able to take it off.
Right, exactly. I just, to me, like, I know it was 1969, but then again, we also were able to do video and live streaming.
We watch every single movie ever out there. And again, there is no gravity in space. You will float away. Why were they not attached to anything? Nothing holding them to the spacecraft in any capacity. And like I said, they just land on the ground perfectly. They stay on the ground. They're not floating away. They're walking around like it's Earth and we have gravity. I like that. Really, to me, was like, what the heck?
So I do believe that they got there. I see that we did it. But I also feel like some elements didn't film very well, didn't, capture it very well. There's also a lot of footage that we don't have as well. Like, even the Apollo movie itself. The whole movie is about an hour and 34 minutes. You're telling me we only got like what? They got maybe 30, 40 minutes maximum of footage?
Right, being outside of the craft on the moon. Like, what are you talking about? If this is the first time you're going to the moon and you're gathering all this stuff with all the footage, if they spent enough time there, and you're telling me with looking at how long it took them to orbit around the moon before they could actually land. So they had a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, exactly. And then those videos from them inside of the rocket ship, seeing the Earth behind them, I believe all that was real as well. But I really believe that they got up there. They did not like what they saw. They didn't want to scare people. And they also ran into a few issues. They had to fake some, not all, of the footage.
You can't tell me with how big the moon is that there wasn't some other life living on there. Maybe even the Soviets beat us up there.
Yeah, maybe they did. I don't disagree with you. The other piece of it is, why haven't we gone back the same way? Why didn't we now, with the technology that we have come since 1969? We are now in 2026. You're telling me between then and now, we haven't decided to not only go back, but make it a true, genuine experience with the technology we have now? Why? Why?
Going up there, we also learned a lot of information of how much force we need to get through that gravitational field, how long it's going to take, how far away it is, how much fuel we used. Why wouldn't you want to try to go back the exact same way to the exact same place that they exactly pinpointed when they landed?
Would the government fake something this big? And I mean, probably about 10 to 15 years ago, I'd say no, but now, hell yeah.
I think yes, always yes, because if you think back to Reagan when he talked about aliens, JFK, he talked about aliens, like them wanting to like put it out there for whatever reason, whether they were also trying to cover something up, they were also trying to distract from something. I think that the government is always sly.
I think eventually, if the current administration gets to a point where he quite literally is drowning,
which is currently right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled something out like this to make him look like the hero. They're hiding this from you because I do believe it to be true, but it's another distraction to be like, hey, I'm on your side.
Absolutely. And he's already mentioned like a month ago that, oh, I know more about aliens than you think, and I have all this information. I can put this out there. So again, another thing to distract. Now, why are there no stars in the photos? That's a really good question. Mm-hmm. Now, again, a lot of people and scientists and photographers would probably argue the fact that like the video that we did see on Apollo 11 was all original footage and it was grainy as hell.
Yeah,
It was terrible. Like you said, it was 1969. The stars could have been there. They could have been like mashed into the grain, and we just didn't really see them that well. But I feel like if they were that close in the galaxy, we would see something.
Now, do you think something happened up there that we haven't been told?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
What do you think has happened up there?
Like I had mentioned before, I think either or maybe a few things happened here. Like the Soviets beat us up there. I also believe there was another life form living up there, or they were orbiting around and they didn't actually land. And when they were orbiting around, they were getting fired at by these said extraterrestrial beings. And they decided to flee and get out of there.
Interesting. I also keep feeling like, when they were putting their feet on the ground, and although it didn't go completely deep, it made enough of a footprint. I feel like some of those craters and areas were like softer than others. And I also feel like there could have potentially been like an injury that happened as well. And I don't think that they shared that either.
There definitely could have been an injury. They were orbiting around the moon and they were like, look at all those craters. Some were really huge, some were really small. And it's like, duh, it's a giant rock in space that gets pelleted by other comets and meteorites and other rock forms all the time because, again, no gravity.
It's getting its ass kicked up there, our poor moon. Do you want to hear something kind of totally wild but out there?
Absolutely.
I believe, do you know why dogs and wolves are like drawn to the moon? I believe that they started there. I believe that they were born there. And I believe that UFOs, aliens, other species brought them down here and they're just calling back out to home.
That could be very true. That I wouldn't put it past him. I literally wouldn't. Maybe they sent them here to spy on us.
Yeah, it's very, oh my God.
To keep an eye on us. And every dog reports back once they die, like their brain gets snatched back to the aliens.
Oh my God.
And they get to see exactly how we interacted.
And there are people that are hella spooked by dogs too. So maybe
Right.
they know.
Right. Maybe they had an experience and somehow there's this like something internally.
Well, if dogs are from the moon, then where the hell are cats from?
Hell.
I don't disagree with you. There is something about cats that freak me out too. Big cats, tigers, tigers and lions and all them shit. That freaks me out. So I don't disagree with you. Now, do you actually believe that we went to the moon physically?
I think we went as close as we could get. And like I said, I feel like they couldn't touch down.
So you don't think the footage we currently have, any of it is real?
No.
Wow. Okay.
What is one detail that bothers you the most? Again, going back to what I said in the beginning, the simple fact, the reason why I do not believe that it's real, and what bothers me the most is the fact that when they were coming down the ladder, I feel like that footage was real. Them not being able to put their feet on the ladder because of no gravity, their feet were flying up in the air because that's exactly what would happen. And then they just get on the ground. And that's where I feel like that is where the footage, they completely cut it off because I feel like when they were coming down from the ladder, there was an altercation and they had to cut that footage. And so then when they restarted it, they were on a fake moon in Hollywood somewhere, refilming this as good as they could film it to make it look like real.
One thing that bothers me the most about this, I do feel like they went. I do feel like they got there. I feel like all of those details of the footage is correct. What I don't believe is the footage of them walking along and the flag being there. What I don't believe is that they did not run into plant life, animal life, anything. There's always an animal. There's always a species, a bug, a beetle. There's always something. Why didn't we look around? It was like we went to a party that we've been waiting to go to all year round. And then we get there and we're like, yeah, this party's kind of boring. See ya. And everyone leaves. We didn't get that grand finale that I was hoping for. And answering questions that we could be talking about in history books today.
Which is why it was fake and staged.
That is where I believe it went. So yeah, that's my feel. That's my feel on it.
But those are all valid points, which is why I'm saying why you should believe that it is staged, because there, like you said, would be something. There is a lot of stuff that's just not right about this.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong on that, but I still feel like some of it is true. Do you trust NASA on this?
NASA is funded by the government and rich people that they were told that they have to play along with this or they lose their funding and there will be no more experiments. There will be no more anything. Maybe they even captured a goddamn alien for all we know. And brought it back. And that's why they couldn't show it. You're going to play along with this. And then to repay them, they allow them to run these experiments.
I definitely agree with you on an alien capture for sure. I feel we have so much, but that specific run, I do feel like there was this very thin, shiny looking, honestly, if you watch Star Wars, because Star Wars came out in the 70s, a very similar looking, shiny Yoda thing. I believe. I think Yoda stems from another species that we've run into.
Which also runs along. E.T. was kind of like Yoda, looking very small, a little creature. And those were the first ones that they showed us. Don't tell me for a second, because why else did they continue on with maybe not necessarily going to the moon, but trying to go to other planets, trying to go to space, because they're trying to find more aliens. AKA, that's how Area 51 was created. Even though it was top secret and nobody knew about it for a very long time. But that's where they run all them experiments.
I don't disagree. Anytime we get anything, we just literally hide it from everybody.
That's all the government does, which is why I don't believe
ridiculous.
NASA, because they're going to want to continue to be funded to do these things, so they're going to keep quiet.
Specifically moon connected.
I don't know. Maybe. I think they're lying to us, telling us that we couldn't live up there, because I feel like we could.
I definitely agree with you on that. I also believe that there are items on the moon and other planets that are beneficial to us as cures, helping our health and rejuvenating our lives and making us better.
Absolutely.
So I think that that also has been something that they found on the moon, but they don't have a lot of it and they can't clone it either.
If this happened today, do you think people would believe it more or less?
Ooh, good question. We ask a lot more questions now. We are sus about everything. So I think it would be harder for them to be able to do it. But then again, technology has also gotten to a much better place as well. So, one way or another, I think it would still be the same way. 50% of us would believe it, 50% of us wouldn't.
I think more people would believe it happening if we could have the technology like we have today to watch it. And unfortunately, if there was an encounter with an extraterrestrial or something like that, there would live streaming. No way they could hide that. No way
No.
they could shut that off. No way they could alter that footage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it would be live streamed.
Good
The
point.
government or NASA or anyone wouldn't be able to stop that. Where this was like a controlled recording. So they were like, we will shut it off and then we will only show what we can show. Whereas nowadays, you pop a phone up there on TikTok or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way you can hide that. People are going to see it.
I also believe that they would have put like at least 10 to 15 people up there too. I don't think it would have just been just a few guys.
Well, the thing was, is because a craft could only hold so many people
Of course,
up there.
of course.
And again, this was a very first try. So
right, but that's what I'm saying. The difference between back then and now.
Well, look at what happened recently.
Oh, yeah.
When they sent those billionaires, Katy Perry being one of them, for no reason for a 23-second rendezvous up there.
I lost so much respect for her that day when she was sitting there taking selfies of herself with a fucking flower.
I actually lost more respect for her that day on the fact that she also was up there promoting her new album. And it's like, people are fucking starving down here. People are getting ripped off their food stamps.
Fucking around.
Wasting millions of dollars fucking around on a spacecraft that you could have donated that money to somebody in need or so I don't know. This is why I'm not a billionaire.
And then now she's canoodling with the prime minister or ex-prime minister of Canada. I'm still like floored about that one too. And no, there's no pregnancy.
Okay. The last thing I want to say on that is I do agree. I think there would still be like the people that are in the cult right now, because anytime you present them with facts, they are like, no, I don't believe that. So they could be literally watching the live stream, watching an alien beat the shit out of Buzz Aldridge, and they'd be like, nah, that's not happening.
I'm sitting literally in my bedroom right now, staring at our alien lamp. We have an alien lamp with a little alien inside, and it lights up and everything. I'll have to take a video and post it on YouTube to show it to you guys. But OMG, I'm just looking at this thing and I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking that this is what it looked like. I really do.
Yeah, probably very close to it. Do you think the timing, being during the Cold War, matters more than we realize?
Absolutely. The U.S. has to always come in first in literally everything. And there were plans. And anytime the U.S. hears any sort of like, they want to do this, we got to do it better, bigger, faster. And I absolutely think that this was to outshine and make sure that we looked the best.
Absolutely. America always has to look like the first country, the best country. That's what they've always prided themselves on. We are the best country. We are the biggest country. We have the strongest military. We are the richest country. Like, we are the most powerful country. Like, you are told that from a very young age.
Do you think these astronauts were also told to keep quiet about certain things?
Absolutely. I think all of them were involved. Everybody that worked on this project, the green team, the white team, the black team, like all the teams that they had working on this, all the people that they were showing that were working on this, I think they all had to sign NDAs.
I also think it even was taken a step further like, you're not even allowed to share this with your family or else. And that or else part would be like, we will run your name through the mud and or hurt you or your family.
Absolutely.
It gives me the same vibe as when I'm watching the Titan going under the water, this danger level. And it's like that dangerous situation didn't come, but I feel like it was just not recorded. So I don't disagree with you at all. The other piece of it, too, is I believe that these astronauts, the ones that went up there, specifically Buzz, specifically Neil, like, and there was a third one as well. And I apologize for not knowing their name, but if you know, mention it in the comments. But I feel like they were going to do this because of their passion, their love, their excitement. But I also feel like because of all the stages and the staging of what happened, they kind of like took away from the experience from them. There were a few moments while they were on their way that was like really scary. Remember, we were watching the documentary and their heart rates were going up and down?
Yeah, Buzz's was the highest.
Right. And I believe that it was high like that for a reason. They were in a scary situation along the journey.
I do want to mention to you the third astronaut on Apollo 11 mission was Michael Collins, and he never stepped foot on the moon. He stayed in the craft the entire time. Only Buzz, Neil were the only two that actually got off the craft.
If the truth came out tomorrow, aka Trump decides to use this as another distraction, would people even believe it?
No, because again, like I said,
anything coming from his mouth, you can't trust.
Right. You can't trust anything. Even if he literally sat up there right now and had a piece of paper or an entire file of all these things and pictures and a slideshow showing us this stuff, I would not believe him at all because
his followers?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they would believe.
No, I think that they wouldn't because they already don't believe the Epstein files exist.
I think they will believe literally anything he does. He could stick his thumb in a bowl of peanut butter and say, you can put that in your pooper and it'll cure cancer. They will believe the shit out of him. They think that Tylenol is the cause of autism.
I know. They are a special bunch. But I still believe that there will be people that just will not believe it. Like,
your
no matter
mother
what.
is a nurse. Or was a nurse. She would probably be the one in the hospital.
She probably doesn't believe in aliens.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's probably the one in the hospital offering deals to people to write notes of fake, vaccinations. She's one of those.
Probably.
Now, vision-wise, will there be anything shared publicly by the government? And if so, when and by whom? Okay. So I do believe, like I said earlier, that Nod Dump, I'm going to call him Nod Dump from now on, is going to release something that's actually going to be true. Is it going to be the whole thing? No. There's protocol. There's very illegal steps, actually. And funny enough, he can go bomb a country, no problem. But if he shares too much about aliens, he could actually get himself in actual trouble.
I mean, he can actually get in trouble all the time. And I was about to say to you, like, when does Nod Dump even give a shit about doing things legally? Because he has done nothing legally.
No, he never has Nod Dump done anything legally. But either way, my point is that I do feel like he's going to share a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be the one to give us everything. I do believe I keep seeing a president in the future, female one. I know that sounds really far fucking fetched, but it's true. And I feel like she's going to sit there one day. We're going to change up a lot of the laws. Things are going to be changing. Things will get back to normal. Hopefully. And this woman is going to share these details with us in a way that makes us not panic either. I feel like it's going to be a very educational, but also informative information.
Can only trust a woman to do that.
Right? And then I also think that there's going to be a bigger environmental friendly way for us to get to the moon. It's going to end up being like 60 people can go and do this. It's going to be like a trip over. It's going to be hella expensive, but they're going to go in. They're going to do a full live stream. It's only going to be certain people, of course, the elite, because it's always the elite. There might be a few poor folk on there for
show.
Exactly.
It's going to be like Willy Wonka. Did you get a golden ticket?
Oh my God. You literally read my mind.
I am a mind reader.
And I feel like that's going to be something that does happen in the future. And I also believe that we're going to have other things. Like, if you ever watched The Jetsons, I believe that we're going to be
Love
able,
that show.
right? Not that it's going to be in our lifetime, god damn it, but I do believe that we're going to get to a place in time where we're not going to have vehicles anymore. We're going to have spacecrafts. And it's going to be, there's going to be individual ones, couples, families, Subaru, whatever. They're going to be all spacey, crafty things.
God, why can't I be alive to see that?
Well, you might be, just not Landon. You'll be somebody else.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Well, that brings us to the end of our episode today, and we want to hear from you. Now, what do you think about the moon landing? Where do you fall when it comes to what you feel conspiracy wise? What do you feel the government is hiding? Give us the deets. We want to hear it.
And as always, guys, thanks for listening to Us Against Everything.